whilst the kids are at Revolution Skate Park, I've come to St Peter's in Broadstairs, which looks to be a really ancient kind of village settlement, and behind us is this beautiful old farmhouse. You can just see Bruno in the background. The light's failing, but I'm going to probably go and have a quick look around St Peter's Church and see what I can find out. See you in a bit. The village came into it next to a signalling station by the Royal Navy. Lane, in Tippledore Lane 4. So this looks to be the back of St Peter's. So this would have been built a few years after the Norman conquest, so this must be pretty old. Flint built. I'm getting tangled up in my historical guide, Mr. Bruno. I love going into places like this. Have to push away the vegetation. This is the dead centre of St Peter's by the looks of things. And look, that's a classic British scene, the Red Lion in the distance. Wow. It's beginning to rain, but there's this incredible red sky behind us. So what have we got? Commonwealth war graves. Welcome to the parish church. This is a historic village church. Yeah, let's find out a bit more. I'm loving the tower. I find when I'm conducting such august historical tours that the only sustenance has to be a crimble coconut macaroon. Would you agree? Looks like some building work, of course. More of the graveyard. It's quite a big churchyard. Let's try and find some of these war graves, see what we can find. Oh, Bruno's thirsty. Right, Bruno. Sorry, I've got a mouthful of crimble. Don't know if you can see in the distance there. Amazing red light. Not really picking up on this camera. Beautiful. It's going to really tuck it down though. Right, carry on with the old crimble. This wonderful little cottage at the back of the church. Fantastic this time of the evening when it's getting darker, the lights come on. They look like models, don't they? This cracking conservatory way too much the wind in the trees. Tower in the distance. Really quite an atmospheric churchyard. I spied in the distance one war grave. Looks like a sailor. Oh dear. A sailor of the Great War, known unto God. That is very sad. Quite an important and large set. We're going into what seems to be the more informal bit of the churchyard. Let's take a look. So again, this must be such a nice habitat in the summer. Overgrown, typically British, down this winding path. So many graves. So a couple more war graves here. Soldier of the First War, Royal Engineer, W. Turner, a sapper. A.S. Hobday Private Royal West Kent Regiment. I think there's something really poignant about the war graves and how they end up maybe back where they lived. We've got a few here dotted around. There's no rhyme or reason. They're not organised in one place. Let's see what we've got here. So what does that say? Private Harrison Royal Sussex Regiment. No, doesn't say any date, but age 38. It's quite an old soldier. Private Murphy, the King's Liverpool Regiment, 1915. So I wonder, I'm so confused. There's all different regiments. Whether they came here to be buried. Where did they die? How did they get here? This is really tough because the light's fading, although it looks quite bright on the camera. Private Dagnall, 1919, so he might have died from wounds after the Great War. Leicestershire Regiment. This looks like a gunner. Yeah, Royal Field Artillery. Gunner Brenchley, so he would have been a private, age 32, 1919. So maybe, again, died of wounds. What regiment's this? Okay, yeah, so it's again it's again the Royal Artillery, age 36, 1919. I might have to, who's that? W Hall. Might have to do a bit of research. Who have we got? So this looks like a medic. Yeah, look. Royal Army Medical Corps, 1920, age 25. It's really interesting. Crikey, this churchyard goes on and on and on, a little bit like me in this video. Looks like we're coming to the possible, I don't know, original boundary. The flint wall comes round. Probably a later entrance, Victorian brick, and more and more and more. Wow. Let's tramp down here. Put the light on. I don't know if that's going to help or not. There he goes. Closer in. Down this pathway. Really overgrown, but I should imagine there's quite a few graves. Oh, hold on. Brambles. Yeah, we pop out here onto a main path. Isn't it just tragic? I mean, all war is tragic. That goes without saying, but to get through conflict only to die after that war has ended, I really want to know more. And if by some sort of serendipity there's an information plaque, so the WW1 graves, welcome to the war graves in St Peter and Thanet. Between here and the Flint boundary wall ahead of you are remaining 13 war graves of servicemen who died here or somewhere else in England. The graves of 7 local men are highlighted on the plan. In total there are 19 local servicemen of the World War I buried in their parish churchyard, and a small number, as 118 servicemen, are commemorated on the parish war memorial. Wow. And here are the names. I think it's testament to our country. I think we do kind of historical signs and interpretation really well. You don't need too much information, but it whets your appetite. This looks to be a little bit more formal, so maybe these are the graves that were being mentioned. We tramp over this ground. Another gunner, 1916, age 30, Gunner Bing. Private Neil, so one letter away from my name. East Kent Regiment, the Buffs. There we go, that's the Buffs cap badge. Up the Buffs. Now, I've never seen a triple war grave. So we've got Royal Berkshire, Private Collings, West Berkshire Regiment, 1919, died. We've got Airman First Class Sharp. Looks as though that sailor served on HMS President, died 1919. Another one died 1919, the Royal Defence Corps, H. Saxey. Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve. We've got a corporal here, the Queen's. Murphy, Petty Officer, HMS Pembroke, some sailors here. Now this looks to be a Royal Marine, Royal Marine Artillery, aged 17, died in 1918. C. Geraghty, Manchester Regiment. There's a couple of Irish names there. Got another sailor, known unto God. I wonder whether that was, whether they've got a body, whether they recovered a body and they couldn't identify. And another medic. I have to say I'm thoroughly enjoying this walk, as is Mr. Bruno. This is better than killing 3 hours in the skate park with the boys. It's all out there. Love to get out, have a good look around. Incredibly peaceful. The light's really fading now. There seems to be a garden of remembrance, a dog. We're walking back under this canopy of trees, changing colour as autumn approaches, obviously. There's that lovely cottage. And we're coming back up to the church. He's really thirsty. Honey Brew. Thirsty dog. He thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this little trip. If you didn't, it doesn't matter. I like to record these because I like to look back on them, see what you get up to, break the monotony. If Crimbles are watching, which I'm sure they are, I'm open for sponsorship deals. That certainly looks inviting. I wonder how many pints have been poured in that boozer. I think my only criticism of my walk so far in St Peter's, it's got quite a busy main road through it. Really old settlement, but I suppose that's modern life, isn't it? I'm going to end my video here. The War Memorial. There are, how many in each? So 3, 6, 9, say 10 in each lozenge. There is hundreds who have died. Just a small snapshot in a smallish village. I like to have a look at the ranks. Mainly they are private soldiers, gunners, but we've got a second lieutenant, an officer, staff sergeant major, so one under company sergeant major, non-commissioned officer. Got a lieutenant, we've got a chaplain there, another second lieutenant, we've got a captain. What have we got here? So the highest rank so far is a company commander, so Major Churchill. Got a sergeant. Yeah, so the highest ranking soldier to die on this war memorial was a company commander. I thought I was going to end my video at the war grave, but I've just seen something else. The stocks. So St Peter's Village stocks. In 1405 an Act of Parliament was passed which has never been repealed, requiring every village to have a set of stocks. In view of this, St Peter's Village stocks were reinstated by Thanet District Council in 2001, probably for the people who don't pay their council tax. Stocks were last used until 1870s for offences such as drunkenness, I would have been in there, giving false measure, spreading scandal, dressing immodestly and failing to attend church services. I would have probably spent most of my time here.